Well, good morning, parents, volunteer facilitators. Dean here. I just wanted to check in with you by video because it's easier for me personally than typing, and because I know there's been a tremendous amount of correspondence between Katie in the home office and you as parents. Just a sort of a side note is that based on this economic impact of this coronavirus, we actually have had to reduce our full-time staff by 50%, 50. So we've got some part-time staff who are working on other projects, but it's really Katie and me. So thank you for your patience. We're doing the best we can. Obviously, this is a huge learning curve, right? As I said before, our classes are originally designed to be delivered half online, which your students should have access to now. And then the other half is by an instructor in a classroom in a traditional educational system. So we're trying to figure out how to do that whole second half in real time. And there's all sorts of bumps along the way. So I'm sorry for this taking longer than expected, but I do want to thank you because the questions you've been asking have allowed us to navigate some things that we have to address in order to make this work. And ironically, who knows what will happen to this virus and how long this will go on. But I want to thank you because your participation has allowed us to actually kind of navigate a potential new delivery vehicle, this online platform. I know you may be rolling your eyes saying, "Oh, you got a long way to go before you can consider this a new delivery way." But as we go through this, I'm seeing that this is actually a really unique way to serve students, and it doesn't rely on schools providing diagnosis of certain students, and then we get into the whole diagnosis conversation. And this is actually a really exciting for me personally, also because personally I get to actually see students, and I look forward to working with students and dropping into these Zoom meetings. So selfishly, it's super rewarding for me to actually have dialogue and exchange with students. So you may have thought you were signing up for a free offering, which you are, but you inadvertently volunteered to help us as an organization and with a deeply reduced staff. I want to thank you. This is the wonderful thing about running a small nonprofit, is that people volunteer even when they don't know they're volunteering. The iDyslexic platform, we've had some questions about that. That was a little bit of a disappointment in terms of the classroom component. That was going to be sort of an independent place for students to exchange information and to have all sorts of correspondence with each other in a confidential way. It turns out that iDyslexic, which is in Ireland, also has to subscribe to a lot of confidentiality laws, just as we have to in the United States. And the iClassroom doesn't allow more than one student to be in that for those confidentiality laws. So all these laws are fantastic, and I believe and advocate in them. It also just makes it a little bit more challenging to navigate this type of environment. And we're experiencing that not just with iDyslexic, but also like, okay, the pro bono lawyer needs to get us a waiver so that we can like know who your kids are so that we're not in violation, and all these things. So please bear with us. We're really just trying to navigate very, very appropriate legal considerations, very daunting sort of technological questions, because like I said, I'm an old guy. I don't know tech as well as some 15-year-old does. And of course then we need to create an army of volunteer facilitators, because as much as I'm going to try to drop into each Zoom meeting, we've got 9 teams right now, and we've got a waiting list. So I can't be in all of these facilitating each one simultaneously. So all that is going on behind the scenes. That's why it's taking us a little bit longer. I dyslexic, we're not going to be able to use the platform. I personally love to be able to post things that I'm doing and see your kids' responses. It's been so awesome. So if you want to continue to use the I dyslexic platform, I love it. It's just a way for me to communicate better with your children or with you as parents. So please continue that if need be. The sound upstairs is my 12-year-old dyslexic experiencing some cabin fever and jumping around. So forgive me for the background noise. So instead of the iDyslexic classrooms, what we're going to do is have just group email threads. So I'll be the facilitator for my son's class, for example. There are 2 other students in his class. I've now gotten consent from that form for most of you to then reveal what other students are in that cohort, that working group. And now all of a sudden we'll just use email to say, hey, when do you want to set up Skype meetings? Oh, hey, here's a picture of the work I did. Hey, okay. So you'll have me representing noticeability, sometimes me as the facilitator or another volunteer facilitator who will be in that email thread. I'm sorry we have to do it that way, but actually iDyslexic is really grateful for our feedback, and they might actually create during their next iteration what it is that we hoped we would be able to have from them. So perhaps coming soon to a cell phone near you. What we need now is really a preferred email for that correspondence as well as for the Teachable platform. So here's the snag about the Teachable platform. It's easiest for us to enroll everybody just automatically instead of sending coupons. However, again, the legalities say that we have to have you check the terms of use, which means that the easiest way for us is for you to log on to, before you begin, and create a profile which requires you to tick the box, terms of service, accept. Then we can operate with you and just automatically enroll your student using the email that you use to register. That's easiest for us and easiest for you. If you have already created an account on Teachable, then you'll see that we're enrolling you directly because you've already ticked the box of accepting those terms of use. So again, I'm sorry, it's just the way things are. I apologize for the added hurdle. The other thing is that some of you have multiple children, and the question arises, well, do I have to create Teachable accounts for each one of them? The answer is no. What you can do is you can have, you hear my boy up there, he's like doing his workout routine or something. For the Teachable platform, if you want to have you, the parent, your personal email and a password, mom and dad 2020, terrific. You can share that with your kids and they can just log in. There's some questions and answers, and one sibling might do the questions. Okay, big deal, not a big, just forget about that. The one thing that we do ask is that we do have a pre and post survey, which allows us to just gauge student progress. And the pre and post survey is a link. And so if you've got 2 kids, you can click the link, open it, copy and paste that Google form link to another page. One student does one student does the other. Okay? We also need to make sure that you understand that we're looking at your students' progress. Okay? So you need to be aware of that. So we are then including that in the waiver that our attorney is working on right now, so that we are in compliance. You are familiar with every aspect of how this is being conducted, and we are doing the responsible thing in accordance to both laws, as well as protecting us as an organization, as well as protecting your child and your family in your identity, because being a person with a disability, which I don't necessarily agree with that terminology, does carry with it additional legal considerations as well as minors. So forgive us. I wish we didn't have to go through all this, but we need to. I think that's it. So you all are rock stars. I thanked you on social media this morning, not your names. I said thanks to the parents, as well as the donors that have made this possible, as well as iDyslexic for doing everything. I'm communicating with the founder and the COO on a daily basis. Okay, and I also want to thank Katie, who has been with Noticeability for 2 months. Are you kidding me? That's so uncool. Tell me I'm not the only parent that's dealing with kids literally bouncing off the walls. Okay, thank you for your patience. I'm so grateful to all of you. This is thanks for being a Noticeability volunteer. All right, y'all rock. Thanks.